Alright, so I want to look at a couple definitions from 1.1. The first set of definitions I want to look at are population versus statistic. Now, a population is everything that you're interested in. Absolutely everything. And the sample is normally a portion of the population. So if you want to think about it visually, what you can imagine is, and they have a picture in the book, this would be the population, it would be everything, and then inside of the population, you would have your sample. So you can think of all humans as being your population, and they would be everywhere, everybody in the box, and then whomever is in there would be your sample, the one that you selected. Now, we can do statistics on either one of these, but we have to be careful because the symbols change. The symbols we're going to use, I'll go over when we have those definitions. But for the most part, when we use populations, we use capitals or we use Greek letters. When we use sampling, it's a lowercase letter, normally with something on top of it. I'm going to write down a couple examples so you get the exposure, but I'm not going to go into much detail. So for population, a lot of times we talk about the average, we talk about the mean, we might use the symbol mu. Other symbols we use are sigma, or sigma squared if we're talking about the standard deviation or the variance, and then later on we'll have a capital P when we talk about the true proportion of the entirety of the population. On the other side of that, for sampling, we might have a lowercase x with a line on top of it referred to as x bar, an s for the standard deviation, or an s squared for the variance, which is the standard deviation squared. Similarly, it might get abbreviated s dot d for standard deviation. The problem with this one is I don't know if it's referring to a sample standard deviation or a population standard deviation. I have to get it from context. Now, in the case of proportions, instead of a capital P, what I'll be using is a lowercase p with a hat on top of it, known as p hat.